Today, Senate Republicans took action on legislation that continues to allow the practice of conversion therapy in Wisconsin. During today's session, the Wisconsin Legislature took the final step needed to stop Governor Evers' administration from enacting a ban on conversion therapy. Republicans who control the state Senate voted over the objections of Democrats to effectively allow therapists and others to attempt to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity.
Republicans can hide behind procedures all day long. We know that they hold these tools in their toolboxes, but we are here to let you know and to be very clear that they are reinstating conversion therapy in the state of Wisconsin with their actions.
No Republican lawmakers spoke in favor of allowing conversion therapy before they all took that vote. Republicans added they do plan to hold a vote on the Republican bill adding rape and incest to the state's abortion ban.
I think the thing that's been the most disappointing is the extreme stance that Governor Evers has taken, which is it's basically his way or the highway. There's no negotiation.
State legislators also passed a bill for increased penalties for reckless driving in Wisconsin.